Hi, I'm Commander Shiraz Azad. I'm the commanding officer of INAS 300, the White Tigers. We fly the Sea Harrier. Sea Harrier is a VSTOL aircraft, which is a vertical short takeoff and landing aircraft. It's the only operational VSTOL aircraft in the world, and this VSTOL capability offers it incredible amount of versatility, and because of this VSTOL capability, it is able to operate from small carriers. And the Indian Navy's context, it operates from INS Virar, and it carries out its main role is fleet air defense, and it is also capable of carrying out ground attack. And in that, if you see, this was inducted into the Indian Navy in 1983. So pretty much it has done nearly 30 years of service in the Indian Navy. It's a highly capable aircraft. It's got a radar, and it's recently been upgraded with a new radar and beyond visual range BVR Derby missiles. So these have made it a very potent platform, and it's capable of performing all its role in an incredibly good fashion. So this is the aircraft. As you can see, this is in the front we have the radar. On top of that is which looks like a lance, is actually a pitot system, which is for finding out the speed of the aircraft and the height of the aircraft. And as you can see, it's got large intakes. This is because of its insatiable need for airflow during VSTOL operations. And behind that, if you can see, the exhaust of the aircraft, unlike a normal aircraft which is absolutely at the end of the aircraft, in this aircraft the exhausts are through 4 rotatable nozzles. These nozzles can be rotated down. In this present, the way it is now, as you can see, they are pointing backwards, which will give you a flight like a conventional aircraft. However, there's a lever in the cockpit where the pilot rotates that lever. These nozzles point downwards, and the aircraft turns into it can then hover like a helicopter. So it's a very versatile aircraft. So it's able to do from 0 speeds to over 600 knots, which is nearly supersonic speeds it can do. These big things that you see here are drop tanks. They carry fuel. We can carry 3 types of drop tanks. These drop tanks give us incredible amount of endurance, which we can fly over 2.5 hours. It's got a unique undercarriage layout. Normal aircrafts have got a tricycle layout, but in this we have something called outriggers. You can see these, the main weight of the aircraft are taken on by the nose wheel and the main wheel. These outriggers are primarily for support. They don't have any weight bearing capacity. As you can see, when the aircraft comes into a hover, there is these controls, which are the ailerons, they become ineffective. In such a case, there is airflow taken from the engine, and these are diverted to these reaction control valves. So when a pilot in hover moves his controls, these open to release air and give you the same effect like a aileron. So if you want to bank or you want to pitch down, these reaction control valves, which are there at the extremities of the aircraft, they open up to provide you that kind of control. So that makes it highly maneuverable also in hover. And we have these are the ESM system. We have a radar warning receiver on board, which warns the aircraft of incoming missile or enemy radar illuminating it. So this gives us makes it very useful in aerial combat. We have chaff and flare dispensers here. If you come here, these are chaff and flare dispensers. These are for the protection of the aircraft in case the missile is in the air, to deceive the missile. So these are there. These help to, they release flares and shafts to deceive the missiles in the air. So as you can see, this is the tail plane. The reaction control duct for controlling yaw is here. They help in controlling the yaw of the aircraft. This aircraft is very versatile in aerial combat. We are able to very effectively carry out combat with advanced aircraft like the Su-30, the Rafales of the Rafale aircraft of the French Navy. We have operated against. We have also operated against F-18 of the US Navy, and we have performed most credibly in those multinational exercises. This squadron has an illustrious history of over 50 years. It was commissioned in 1960, 7 July 1960 at RNAS Brody in UK. And that time the squadron operated the venerable Seahawk aircraft, and thereafter in due course, when the Seahawks were decommissioned, the Harriers were inducted in 1983, with its first commanding officer being Admiral Arun Prakash, who later on went on to become the chief of the naval staff. The squadron also has the unique distinction of providing 3 chiefs of naval staff, that is Admiral Teheliani and Admiral Suresh Mehta are also ex-White Tigers. So the role of this aircraft, whenever INS Virat, the carrier of the Indian Navy, sails out, these aircraft embark the carrier, and we carry out day and night operations from Virat. And our primary role is to provide air defense to the fleet, to ensure that an area of around 300 nautical miles, 2 to 300 nautical miles around the carrier force is kept devoid of any kind of enemy activity, so that it performs excellently in that job. And while doing these things, operations from the carrier itself is a very challenging task, because carrier is a very small area, and flying this aircraft and taking off and landing from a carrier is definitely a challenge. But we do that not only by day, by night, by dark night, and but that challenge which it poses brings in the tremendous amount of satisfaction among the pilots. Maintenance wise, it's 30 years old now, so there are issues of maintenance, mainly because we are the sole, Indian Navy is the sole operator of this aircraft. The other navies and other armed forces have migrated to much more later generation of the same Harrier aircraft, and this is actually the first Mark 1 genre of aircraft. So in that, what has happened is now most of its spares are not those shops which are providing these items are no longer in service now. So it's a challenge for the Indian Navy to carry out maintenance of these aircraft. However, the Navy has taken very proactive steps in liaison with the original manufacturer, which is the British Aerospace, and we have come up to some understanding, and so we'll be able to maintain them for another few years definitely. And for every single hour of flying, as much as 30 to 40 man hours are required to maintain the aircraft, to put one aircraft into the air for an hour. So yeah, it is a maintenance aircraft, and because as you see, this aircraft, it is built around an engine. The engine is a Rolls-Royce Pegasus engine. In fact, the engine is the heart of this aircraft, because this aircraft, when it is hovering, it is doing it on sheer engine power, and because of that, it requires a lot of intensive maintenance. This aircraft is also capable of undertaking air-to-air refueling, for which we have this air-to-air probe which is fitted here. This is detachable, so if you want it, if there's a mission which requires air-to-air refueling, we get it put, and if there is no requirement, we can take it out. And this capability offers us tremendous flexibility. We can fly as much as 6 hours of a sortie, because fuel, we can keep taking fuel from the tanker and keep flying for as much as over 6 hours, and undertake missions at very, very long ranges In fact, with this we can double our ranges that we can normally fly to. So this also provides a fantastic amount of flexibility of operations to us when we are planning any mission. As I was telling you regarding the squadron, our squadron, which is the White Tigers, we finished 50 years Golden Jubilee. We celebrated our Golden Jubilee in 2010, and we continue to perform from Virat, where we embark whenever the ship sails out, and we undertake missions both by day and night.